Everyone thought he was just lazy, but nobody saw what happened after 2 a.m. The room was dark, except for the cold light from his phone. TikTok videos kept sliding past his eyes, one after another. He told himself it would only be 5 minutes. 3 hours disappeared again. His unfinished work sat open on the laptop beside him. Cold coffee near the keyboard. Unread messages. Missed deadlines. A life quietly waiting for him to finally wake up. But the scariest part. He knew exactly what he was doing. Every night ended the same way. Scrolling until his eyes burned. Promising himself tomorrow would be different. Then waking up exhausted and doing it all again. At first, he thought he just lacked motivation. That's what everyone always kept saying. Wake up early. Work harder. Stay disciplined. But none of those videos understood what was actually happening inside his head. Because he wasn't avoiding work. He was avoiding discomfort. And his phone became the fastest escape. Whenever anxiety appeared, he scrolled. Whenever he felt behind in life, he scrolled. Whenever he thought about the future, he distracted himself before the fear could fully hit him. Scrolling became emotional survival. Days slowly blended together. Late nights, late mornings, unfinished goals, fake promises to himself. He stopped answering calls from friends because he felt embarrassed about his life. His parents kept asking about his future. And he kept saying, I'm figuring things out. But deep down, he knew he was lying. One afternoon, he opened social media and saw an old classmate posting graduation photos. New apartment, new job, big smile. He stared at the screen silently, then locked his phone. Not because he was jealous, because he remembered who he used to be. There was a time when he had plans too. Big plans. He once wrote goals in notebooks, saved motivational videos, talked excitedly about his future. Now, he couldn't even focus for 20 minutes without reaching for his phone. And that realization hurt more than failure itself. Because the real pain wasn't losing. It was becoming someone who stopped trying. But things became even worse. One night, while cleaning his room, he found an old video on his laptop. It was recorded 6 years earlier. In the video, he looked younger, more alive, more hopeful. He was talking about everything he wanted to accomplish before 25. The career, the discipline, the person he wanted to become. Then he checked the date and froze. He was already 26. Silence filled the room. No dramatic breakdown. No loud music. Just quiet shock. Years had disappeared. Not because of one big mistake, but because of thousands of small escapes. One more scroll. One more delay. One more tomorrow. Comfort slowly became his prison. That night, he couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, distractions stopped working. The fear finally reached him. What if this never changes? What if he wastes his entire life like this? He grabbed his phone again, out of habit, then stopped halfway. His thumb hovered over the screen. That's when he realized something terrifying. His mind had been trained to escape discomfort automatically, without thinking. Every difficult emotion triggered the same response. Scroll, watch, escape, repeat. The addiction didn't destroy him overnight. It trained him slowly, until avoidance became identity. And the worst part, nobody could save him from habits he kept protecting. The next morning, nothing magically changed. He still felt tired, still overwhelmed, still anxious. That's the part people never talk about. Transformation doesn't begin with confidence. It begins with resistance. He sat at his desk and tried to work for 15 minutes. His brain screamed for distraction. His hand reached for the phone every few seconds. The silence felt uncomfortable, almost painful. But this time, he stayed. Just 15 minutes. That was it. No motivational speech. No dramatic life reset. Just a small moment of discomfort he refused to escape. And strangely, that tiny victory mattered. Because for the first time in years, he proved something to himself. Maybe he wasn't weak. Maybe his mind was simply addicted to comfort. Days passed. Then came failure again. One bad night turned into another binge-scrolling session. He slept at 4 a.m., ignored responsibilities again. The old guilt returned instantly. And for a moment, he almost gave up completely. But this time, something was different. Before, failure became an excuse to quit. Now, he understood the real battle. Discipline wasn't about feeling motivated. It was about staying present when discomfort appeared. That realization changed everything, so he started smaller. He deleted apps during work hours, took walks without headphones, sat quietly with his thoughts instead of drowning them in noise. At first, it felt unbearable, because silence forced him to face himself, the regret, the wasted time, the fear. But slowly, his mind became calmer, not happier overnight, just quieter. And, in that quietness, he started rebuilding trust in himself again. One promise at a time. Wake up on time. Finish one task. Go outside. Read one page. Keep one promise. Tiny things. But tiny things repeated daily create identity. Months later, his life still wasn't perfect. He still struggled sometimes. Still felt temptation. Still had difficult nights. But now he understood something most people never realize. Your future is not destroyed in one day. It disappears through repeated moments of escape. And it can also be rebuilt through repeated moments of courage. Even small ones. One night, he sat in the same dark room again. Same silence. Same phone beside him. Same unfinished work on the desk. The old version of him would have escaped instantly. But this time, he picked up the phone and placed it face down. Then opened the laptop, took a deep breath, and started. For the first time in years, he stopped running. Maybe this story isn't only about him. Maybe somewhere, you've been fighting the same battle too. Hit the like button, and do comment, Rise, if you're choosing to start again. And if this story connected with you, subscribe to Inner Rise Daily for more such transformation stories. Heal, grow, rise.